That feeling when that first real paycheck hits your account, it's incredible, right? I mean, that's freedom, that's opportunity, it's the start of everything. But let's be real, it can also be kind of daunting. So today, we're going to flip that uncertainty into empowerment. We're going to create your personal financial blueprint. It's all about helping you build the future you want, one smart step at a time.
So, you're looking at that number in your bank account, and that one big question just pops into your head. Okay, what now, right? Do I save it? Do I spend it? Should I be investing? It is so easy to get overwhelmed. But hey, don't worry. That's exactly why we're here. This is going to be your clear, simple guide to making that first salary work for you, right from day one.
All right, first things first. Every great plan, I don't care if you're building a house or building wealth, starts with knowing exactly where you stand. You got to understand the terrain, right? So before we even think about allocating money, we need to do a quick financial audit. Think of this as laying the foundation. Everything else we talk about is going to be built right on top of this.
And look, this sounds way more intimidating than it actually is. You can literally do this with a basic spreadsheet or even just a notebook. Okay, so step 1, list all your income sources. That's your salary, any side hustles, you name it. Then step 2, tally up your fixed expenses. These are the predictable bills, the ones that are the same every month, like your rent or a car payment. Step 3 is tracking your variable expenses. This is the stuff that kind of fluctuates, like how much you spend on groceries, gas, or going out. And finally, number 4, get a really honest look at any debts you have and what you've got in savings right now. Getting this clear picture, it's absolutely the most essential first step.
Okay, so once you know where your money is coming from and where it's going, now it's time for the architectural plan. And honestly, one of the best and most straightforward blueprints out there for managing your cash flow is the 50-30-20 rule. It's a total game changer. The real magic of this rule is just how simple it is. Seriously, this isn't some complex math equation. It's a strategic plan that takes all the guesswork out of budgeting and turns it into a clear guide. So here's the breakdown. 50% of your take-home pay goes to what you need, 30% goes to what you want, and that last powerful 20%, that's dedicated to building your future.
So let's look at how this works in the real world. That 50% for needs, that's for the essentials, the must-haves, rent, utilities, groceries, transportation. Then you've got your 30% for wants. This is your lifestyle fund, right? For things like dining out, your hobbies, all those streaming subscriptions. But that crucial 20% for savings, that is where the magic really happens. That's the money that's going to build your safety net, aggressively attack any debt you have, and get you investing in your long-term goals.
All right, so before we can start building those financial skyscrapers, we have to make sure the foundation is rock solid. And in the world of finance, that means building your defenses. A great plan isn't just about making money, it's about being strong enough to handle whatever unexpected curveballs life decides to throw at you. And your number one defense, your first line, is an emergency fund. I want you to think of this as your financial shield. It's super important to remember, this is not an investment, it's insurance. This is just cash, set aside in a savings account you can get to easily for real emergencies. A sudden car repair, an unexpected medical bill, the kind of stuff that pops up so you don't have to go into debt or totally derail your long-term plans when things go sideways. So the big question is, how big does this fund need to be? Well, the gold standard, what you're aiming for, is about 3 to 6 months worth of your essential living expenses. And I know, that number can seem huge at first, a little overwhelming, but it's a real, tangible goal you can build up over time. Just use a big chunk of that 20% savings category to funnel money into this fund until you hit your target. Trust me, it's the best financial peace of mind you can possibly buy.
Okay, the other key part of a strong defense is tackling debt head-on. And listen, not all debt is created equal, right? Some, like student loans, can be good debt if they lead to a higher income. But high-interest debt, like from credit cards, that stuff is a financial emergency. It's bad debt because that interest is actively working against you. It's literally a wealth-destroying machine. You have to make paying it down a top priority. Be disciplined, try to avoid any new borrowing, and maybe even look into consolidating your loans to see if you can save some money on that interest.
All right, so once your defenses are in place and your foundation is solid, we can flip the switch. We can go from playing defense to playing offense. Now it's time to start planting the seeds for your future by making your money work for you through investing. Get ready, because the single most powerful force in your entire financial toolkit is something called compound growth. It's literally the snowball effect for your money. Think about it. When you invest, your money earns returns. But then,
those returns start earning their own returns. It just keeps building on itself. That's why starting early, even with small amounts, is so critical. You're giving your money more time to grow exponentially. This right here is the absolute key to building real long-term wealth for retirement.
So what's the secret to steady growth? It's diversification. You've heard that old saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket. And for investing, it's 100% true. Spreading your money across different kinds of assets is how you reduce your risk. So we're talking about investing in a mix of things. Stocks, which are basically tiny pieces of ownership in a company. Mutual funds, which are like a pre-made basket of a bunch of different stocks all bundled together. And of course, retirement accounts like a 401k, which have awesome tax advantages to help your money grow even faster.
And this slide, this is where it all clicks into place. Your financial plan is what connects your small, daily actions to your biggest, boldest dreams. You use that 20% savings category to tackle your goals. So in the short term, maybe that means building up your emergency fund or saving for an awesome vacation. But in the long term, you're systematically planning for retirement, for a down payment on a house, for real financial independence.
And last but not least, please remember that your financial blueprint is not something you carve in stone. It's a living document. Life changes, right? And your plan needs to change right along with it. This final piece of the puzzle is all about staying disciplined and being ready to adapt.
You might get a raise, awesome, or change careers, or maybe your goals just evolve. That's totally normal. And that's exactly why you should plan to check in on your blueprint every 6 months or so. Just ask yourself, does my budget still make sense? Am I still on track to hit my goals? This isn't a set it and forget it kind of thing. It's an ongoing process. Kind of like you're the captain, always steering your financial ship.
When you boil it all down, this whole process, the audit, the budget, the saving, the investing, it's all about one thing, giving you control. It's about having the discipline today so you can have freedom tomorrow. It's about making that shift from just reacting to financial stress to proactively building the exact life you want.
So, there you have it. You've got the architectural plan now, you know all the steps, from laying the foundation to building way up into the future. The only question left is, what's the very first step you're going to take? Your blueprint is waiting, it's time to start building.